Welcome into today's broadcast right here at Cog Hill Farm. Now, Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the house for this episode, so here's Jason, Brooke, and our chicken master, Marycarl.
What is up, everybody? It's another episode of the Cogcast podcast, the Homesteading podcast on YouTube and Facebook and your favorite podcast app. This is episode number 33, I think. I think it's 33.
33.
I think it's 33.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's either 32 or 33. I'm totally lost count now. This is Jason, Marycarl, and Brooke. And what is happening and what do you have here today?
Well, I have a little black or chocolate pied Muscovy, and her name is Mantis.
Why do you think it's a her?
And why did you name it Mantis?
Because I like to name Muscovies after insects because they love to eat insects.
I got you.
And I think it's a girl because you can they have knots, facial knots. And a lot of people say they're the ugliest dog. They're so ugly. They're nasty looking. Oh, I think they're beautiful.
They look like a turkey.
Like a turkey duck.
Mm-hmm.
Like a turkey duck, but
Right.
the size of a goose. They are huge.
They are huge.
This one's a day and a half old, I think.
You know, it looks chocolate to me. Its little head markings look
It does.
chocolate, and its back looks more black.
It does. That happens on a lot of them. It will look like it's chocolate, and then at the same time it looks like it's black. So that's why I say chocolate or black pied.
All right, tell us a little bit about the Muscovy.
Well, I've had Muscovies for 7 years.
I think that's about
7
right.
years now. We got our first Muscovies at a little fair.
At our local fair, which
Yes.
is not a very big fair.
And it was a mama with like 10 babies.
Wasn't it an auction?
It was an auction, a fair auction.
Well, I think what it was they were raising money for the fair at the end, and they were auctioning off all the animals that
Yeah, I think you're right.
people wanted to raise money for the event. And Marycarl was about 4, I guess, at the time, and she was already.
I knew what a Muscovy was, and I knew I wanted some Muscovies. And like that night when I figured out what a Muscovy was, we were going to the fair. And we went to the fair, and there were Muscovies. They were not your normal white Muscovies either. They were blue, black, and lavender, the weird colors. And we got them, and then we ended up with 10 Muscovies.
You know what I remember most about that event was that they had the mama in one cage and all the babies were in separate cages. And that mama was just having a fit because she had never been away from those babies. And Marycarl, being 4 years old, wanted to buy all of them so they could be back with their mama because they were auctioning them off one by one. Like the mama could have went separate and all the babies could have went separate. But she wanted all the babies to stay with the mama. And so we just kept bidding and kept bidding and kept bidding. And finally we ended up, we weren't going home without the Muscovies, that was for sure. And as soon as you won, do you remember what you did?
No, I don't.
Jason, do you remember?
I don't remember.
She went and got a couple of babies and put them in there with that mama.
Oh, okay.
And she calmed down. It was almost instant. And at 4 years old, you knew that mama needed her babies.
They are very protective mothers. The younger ones, not so good. They're just in a hurry. They're in a big hurry.
Well, you could tell she was a full-grown duck. I mean, she was not a
Yes.
young mama. She was an experienced mama. We have no idea how many, broods she had, but for whatever reason, she was there with her babies, and Marycarl wasn't leaving without 10
Did the
of them.
4-H bring those?
No.
Okay.
It was an individual.
Okay.
It was Earl.
Oh, Earl brought them.
Yep, Earl brought them.
That's who we named our goat after.
Yep, that's who the goat Earl was named after, and he's a very knowledgeable man about birds, animals, all feathered friends, everything. And he brought those, and I guess he just wanted to help out, with raising money for the Lions Club is what it was.
I guess so.
And I'm glad he did, because that's where our Muscovy started from.
Do you know what I remember about that event?
What?
I was the judge for the chicken show of
Yep.
the 4-H event. I remember that. I got a message out of nowhere and it was the guy that was the head of the 4-H department, and asked me would I judge their chicken show. And I was like, I guess so.
And you already having anxiety issues. Asking somebody like that to judge a chicken show was just like throwing gasoline on a fire.
And, well, yeah, yes and no, I guess. But I don't know. I just thought it was crazy that I was asked to be a judge of a chicken show.
Well, he said he knew that you had had chickens for quite some times, and you probably knew what was, more sought after than not so.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you were qualified in that. It wasn't like it was a huge show.
No, it wasn't like it was like one of these hardcore, for
That's
real,
right.
legit shows where these people are totally...
We'd have to let Marycarl judge that.
Where their Bantams
serious.
are big silkies that have heads they can't see because their fur is so big.
Those people are serious. They come
They are
in with
serious.
their jackets on with their embroidery on it. People have those airbrushed trailers that cost more than our house and stuff.
Probably what Marycarl will have as soon as she gets off on her own.
But I wasn't a judge of one of those. Just a 4-H club.
I would.
So that's where our Muscovies originated. So we've had Muscovies for, I guess, about 7 years now. Mm-hmm. And we've just continued to have offspring from the ones that we first had.
Well, at one point we decided we didn't want the Muscovies anymore. We didn't want them to breed anymore because they breed like crazy.
I think your daddy was calling it quits on us having Muscovies.
I mean, y'all, they
literally would come out
they
of the
are.
woods.
This is just like, and then somebody messaged today and said that they were an invasive species considered in Florida, and you mentioned that to me, and I can see that. I mean, these things breed like crazy.
They are wonderful, but they do breed very, very.
They do.
Well, they're good
fast.
mothers, and
They are.
That motherly instinct is there at an early age because some that we had just last year as babies are already trying to hatch their young.
They are.
Well, it turns out that we didn't want the Muscovies at one point. Daddy didn't want the Muscovies.
That's right.
I wanted the Muscovies. You wanted the Muscovies, but you did not.
We kept two.
We kept two males.
We kept two males.
Because the males can't reproduce, obviously. But they can reproduce with another bird.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a mullard, which is a sterile, can't breed. So we wouldn't have any more Muscovies.
So offspring would be unable to reproduce.
Yes.
They could reproduce, but their offspring would be unable to reproduce. So that would
Correct.
stop that end into that Muscovy line.
Mm-hmm.
So what did we do?
We got Muscovies now.
We got Muscovies now, and that's all because a fan of the channel. She was located near Birmingham, and she had ordered, how many was it, Marycarl? 15?
15.
Whatever
baby
the minimum
Muscovies.
was. She wanted Muscovies, and so she had put feelers out to some people on, I think it was a Facebook group or something, and asked around, if I place this order for 15 Muscovies, who wants some? And so she said, this person said, I'll take 3, I'll take 3, I'll take 3. And guess what happened?
Nobody took them.
Nobody took them. All she wanted was 2. And so she stuck with 13. So guess what she did?
She called us.
Well, I was put down because I told her I'd take a couple of them. And I kept my word. I was going to take a couple of them. I get there to pick up those couple of them, and she said, look, here I am. I live in a neighborhood. These things are going to fly. I can't keep 13 ducks.
Yeah.
If you get 2, I can't keep 13. So guess what happened?
We got all
We
of
got all 13 of them. And she gave them to us. And I insisted that I pay for the ones that, I had told her that I would get. So I did pay for those, but she insisted that I take those 11 additional. And how was I going to object? Just how?
Now we got
You love Muscovies.
now we got a bunch of Muscovies.
So we gave 2 to our friend Julie.
Yes.
And we had, how many?
No, 13 would be 11. Plus Flycatcher and what's his name?
That's right. So we have 2 males, and she purchased those as sexed hens.
So we have 13 Muscovies.
No, we
Whoa.
don't. We part with some of the other ones?
I don't know, but
I can't remember. We only have like 8.
Well, besides the fact that they're reproducing.
Yeah, besides the fact that they're reproducing like this.
Like that. And so Marycarl's decided here in the last few days that she doesn't particularly care for the all-white Muscovies, that she wants to try to get some color in her stock.
Well, I did find out that there are some color in our background.
Mm-hmm.
We had black ones, solid black ones. We had solid blue ones. We had lavender, and we had a few chocolate.
I'm going to tell him you
Muscovies are
said
crazy.
that. I'm going to tell him you said that because they have very strong wings.
That's what I was fixing to say. And they are extremely, the males especially, are extremely powerful.
They are very powerful.
The males,
They're huge.
they are very big ducks. They're when you pick them up, the wing bone right there at their chest it feels like it's this big around. They are very, very strong, a lot stronger than what you think when you pick one of them up. You better be prepared when you pick one of them up.
Well, they can weigh up to 15 pounds.
I
The males.
believe it.
And the females only weigh 7 pounds, so that's half size.
Flycatcher, which is our big blue and blue-pied
He's old.
Muscovy male. I think he's probably 8. Probably 8 years old.
He can't be 8 though.
He can't be 8. We've only had him
for 7 years.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So he's 7.
He's probably
Yeah.
6.
No, he was one of those babies. He was
Okay.
one of those
He's
initial
7.
babies.
Okay.
He's probably 7.
Gotcha.
And he is huge. He might weigh 25. He might over the limit.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. I don't think he weighs 25.
I don't
though.
know
He's a big
why
boy.
we have picked him up before, but for some reason we've picked him up. And I mean,
He's huge.
you talk about powerful. I mean, his wings are just like
Yeah, he's a strong
Hulk
duck.
Hogan.
And I
That's
tell you
what we
what
should
else?
name him.
Yeah, and also they got big claws too, so be careful with them. Unlike regular ducks, and Muscovy's crazy because it has all the knots on his head like a turkey. It doesn't quack at all. It just hisses and it sounds like it lost its voice. Yeah. So they don't quack. They got claws like a
Falcon or something.
darn chicken.
Why
got-
do they
Look at
have
this.
those claws though?
They're perching ducks.
Yeah, they are perching
It's not
ducks.
focusing on it.
But they then they have knots on their head like a turkey, and they're the size of a darn goose.
You're making this sound terrible.
They're like the platypus of the duck world. They're just like all these different mixes to make up this one thing. And you know, there's some people out there that say that they're not actually ducks.
I believe that.
I don't think they say they're geese. I don't think they're geese. I think they're just Muscovies.
Maybe.
I don't think they're either.
Yeah.
You know, they say that their meat is like red meat.
Red meat.
It looks like
it's
a
not
steak.
white. Yeah.
We've never eaten
No.
one. We've offered to, but
Right.
Marycarl wouldn't let us. And it's supposed to be really good.
Yes, what they say.
It's supposed to be really good.
So some people say it tastes a lot like beef.
However, I don't think we're going to experience that on this farm. Not while
No.
Marycarl's here, anyway.
I'm not plucking it.
Well,
They have a lot of feathers.
they do have a lot of feathers. And you can tell the sex of a Muscovy at about, I would say, 4 weeks old, because
Yes.
the male will literally double in size than the female.
It
Yeah.
almost seems like the female shrinks.
Yeah, it does, because the male grows so fast.
Yes, he grows big, really, really, really fast.
Well, I think they're cool. We
Yeah, I
don't
do
care what
too.
your daddy says. We think they're cool. So they they're native to Mexico and South America,
Yeah.
and they've become invasive in Florida, Louisiana, Massachusetts, the lower Rio Grande Valley of Texas.
They can fly.
And guess where else? The island of Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're invasive.
Wow.
And I guess that's because they're such good mothers.
They produce like crazy. They
It says
really
that they
do.
can have 3 broods a year.
I believe it, and then they'll have like 12 to 15 chicks.
It says up to 30.
Yeah. So they can multiply quick.
How many did Mama Muscovy have?
Every time we've ever
15 maybe?
every time we've ever let them hatch some out, it has been like 15 every time. Every time.
My plan is to, when we get enough this color, black, chocolate, lavender, blue, that I'm going to get rid of a lot of the white ones.
Oh, you told me the other day you were ready to get rid of the white
That's
one.
what I thought.
No, I said when I get enough of this color.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Uh,
Do you know how long it takes for them to hatch?
35 days.
30 days.
Oh, really?
It's 30 days.
Mine took
What's
35.
What's
Well,
a normal duck?
28.
See, they're already. See, that's one thing right there. They're not normal ducks. They're not ducks.
They're not ducks.
They're not ducks.
So what else do you know about Muscovies?
Well, there's several different colors. There's lavender. These are probably the most recognized colors.
Okay.
White is going to be your most recognized color. That's going to be something you're going to find at a feed store probably.
Is that why you don't want the white?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't care for the white. In
Okay.
general, I just don't care for the white.
Well, this has just happened.
What?
Well-
She don't care for the white ones?
Yeah.
It's because I'm getting more color and I didn't realize I could. But my favorite color is lavender. That's one of the common colors. Not extremely common, but common. Black is going to be probably your second common color. Then chocolate, then lavender, lilac,
What color is that one?
black, or chocolate.
She sent Robert at Daybird Aviaries a picture of it, and he said either chocolate and white.
Chocolate pied or black and white pied? Black pied.
What's pied mean?
Black and white. Or, like, let's say you have a blue duck.
Uh-huh.
It'll be blue and white if it's a blue pied. So pretty much just any color with white.
Okay.
And then there's 3 other variations if I know of. I don't know if this is how you pronounce it. Loony.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I would like to try to get.
What color is that?
It's kind of like pied
Mhm.
and rippled. Ripple's another one.
What's rippled?
Let's say it's a chocolate one. It's gonna have like white ripples on it. Then there is barred. It's pretty much rippled times 2.
So which out of those would you want if there was a top of your list?
Loony. I don't know if that's how you say it.
What's it look like?
I just told you. You weren't listening.
I didn't. I heard
That was the
rippled
first
and
one. That was the
pied.
first one. Was Loony.
Yeah, but what color is it?
It's like any color with ripples and pretty much rippled and pied mixed together.
All right. So we have learned a little something about Muscovies. And this one hatched when?
A day or 2 ago.
It still got his egg tooth.
Yeah, you can see that little thing on the end of its beak.
So you hatched it in the incubator, right?
Yes. Well, Muscovies are very hard to hatch. Quite hard to hatch. And I planned on giving a friend of ours all the white ones. And I planned on being maybe at least 12 ducklings. So, but not ducklings, babies. They're not really ducks. And I had like 25 eggs in the incubator.
How many have hatched?
5.
5 out of 25?
5 out of 25
Well, your daddy's
eggs
grinning.
hatched.
Your daddy's grinning.
So where are the other 4?
They're in the GQF brooder, and one's
Right.
going to a new home. Piper's getting it.
It's solid white.
But she's not for sure that Piper's even asked her mama yet.
She probably hasn't.
And she tried to get me to drive her over to Piper's house tonight to deliver the duck.
Yeah.
But she's not sure if Piper's mama knows about this yet.
Well,
She
let's-
I
probably
said,
hear
I
it.
am not fixing to drive you over there.
She probably hear on the podcast.
Yeah, she probably will. No, she'll get me to drive her over there. You watch.
well, I want to get rid of it before the something special goes in.
That's right.
The something special.
Oh, that's why you're wanting it to go so
Yes, I don't want it to get attached. Uh-oh.
fast. Uh-oh. It made a mess right here on the table. It's okay, baby. Careful with it. All right. So, Muscovies.
Muscovies.
What you want to talk about, Jason?
Well, I want to. There's a couple of things I want to go over. One is shirts. I've had people ask about, send me messages that they placed an order and they haven't gotten it yet. I want people to know that we have absolutely no control over the shirts. We use Spring. It used to be called Teespring, but they've recently changed it to Spring, and it is a shirt company that's tied in with YouTube, and almost all your YouTubers use it because they're all connected together, and we have no control over any of it, really. All we do is come up with the ideas, and then they handle the rest, and we get a small commission when somebody buys a shirt. So when it comes to shipping and how long is it going to take, and I hadn't got my shirt yet or anything like that, we have absolutely no control or no extra contacts or anything like that.
But they do suggest, I have actually tried to help some people out by finding their customer service, and Teespring does have, from what we have found out, good customer service.
Yes.
They want to answer the questions rather than the person that has the company answer the questions. So we advise, if it's all possible, to go to Teespring customer service, and if you Google it, you'll find it.
Yeah.
And submit your question to them, because first of all, we may not see the message.
That's right. We may not see the message.
And you may think that I bought a shirt from them and they're not even helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we may not see the message. And then second of all, if they're good about responding, that's the place you should
that's the place that should
Because
handle
we
it.
don't know anything. All I can tell you is to go to Teespring.
Yeah.
Because we don't see an order number. We don't see anything.
Yeah, we don't see anything. All we get is notified, or we don't even get notified. We just look.
We see how many shirts sold.
How many units
It's
sold.
just a
That's
number
it. Yeah.
as to how many of which shirt.
Yeah.
Like we might say, 2 of this shirt sold today.
That's it.
But it
That's all
doesn't
we
tell
know.
us a number. It doesn't tell us who bought it. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean we don't get credit for it, because we
Right.
do. It's just they handle the customer service side
Yes.
of it, because they're the only ones that have any information.
Yep, and it's like a print on demand. So, I think they do like a 7 or 10 day run on them, and when the end of that period's up, they print all those shirts out and ship them. So, but I wanted to get that out there. I think we explained that before, but we have a lot of new fans coming up and may not realize that. But the hats we do ourselves. Those are done here on the farm, and me or Brooke personally ships those out, and those are done here.
And I can guarantee they'll be shipped the next day.
Yes, unless it's weather pending or something crazy, 99% of the time we ship those out.
Well, we've had instances where our mail carrier didn't pick it up for it being a substitute carrier or something. But other than that, we do our end.
I will say this, though, with the post office, as many as we shipped, I know of one that they messed up on. Other thing that I wanted to go over real quick before I forget is Facebook and YouTube in general. But it seems like here recently, I don't know why, but over the last week and a half, it seems like a lot of people have been saying, how come y'all not post anymore? We miss y'all. Mm-hmm. And it all seems to be Facebook related.
Yes.
We're posting every single day, and we're doing the videos like normal. The only thing that has been over the last probably 7 days is this podcast. I'm having issues getting it to Facebook. So what I do plan on doing, and I told you to remind me this Sunday, is I'm going to do a weekly email. And in that email, I'm going to go into what we posted that week video-wise and podcast-wise, and put links into it so you'll be easily to go to.
I think that needs to be done.
And that if you are interested in that, go to our website, coghillfarm.com, and subscribe there. And
put your email address in.
Put your email address in, subscribe to our newsletter. I'll put the links all down below, and that way you can do that, and then you'll start getting our weekly email with everything in it. But I wanted to get all that out of the way because that's some questions I'm seeing come up quite common.
So now it's my turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I want to talk about...
You want to talk about no mulching, do you?
I said I wanted to talk, so if you would let me get a word in, I want to talk about the video that we did this past week that was it came out on Wednesday on YouTube, and it was about the land, the 40 acres, the Cog Hill 40, the mulching that we had done over there at the property. I hired a guy. I called this guy up, and he was He was probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes away from us. He had a mulching machine, which fascinates me to the fullest.
Yes.
I'd never seen one in operation without being on Facebook or, seeing a video of one. I've never seen one personally. So I reach out to this guy and I put my order in for a mulching machine. I'm not going to operate it. I'm going to watch him.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells me, okay, I can meet you over there. And we ran over there one afternoon. He came, he met us, and he told us, well, I just don't think it's what y'all think it's going to be. I think that people think it's going to be little fine nuggets of mulch, and it's going to look like you came along and a landscape company came out here and pulled bags of mulch when I get finished. And I just don't think you're going to be happy with it. So he's going in on a negative foot. And I'm like, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I think he must have just recently had somebody that was dissatisfied. Something I can figure.
So we carry on, we talk, and we tell him, look, we just want to get this privet out of the way. We just want this stuff that we can't go in here with a chainsaw and spend 25 years cutting down this little bit of stuff and get Lyme disease.
Yes.
And have meningitis because we've got ticks all over us.
Open it up.
I mean, just open it up where we can walk through this little thing right here.
Yep.
I think y'all will be satisfied.
Yeah,
when I get
exactly.
I think y'all gonna be satisfied. After a little bit of conversation,
Yep.
I think y'all gonna be satisfied. I can come Saturday. All right. How long do you think it's gonna take you? I could probably get this done right here in a day or so. Well, we really want all this done. I can probably book y'all for the weekend. I can come Saturday and Sunday. I'll be here Saturday morning at sunrise. All right. So all week I was just so excited. I didn't really know what to think. When we pulled up there Saturday,
Yeah.
and I could see the other side of that where that oak tree is,
Right.
my face lit up.
You can see it in the video too, and you can hear us in the video as well. How excited we were that it looked so awesome, and you kind of have an idea what it's gonna look like, but when you actually see it,
Well, come to find out, he had some issues and he didn't have but 6 hours in at the end of Saturday, which to me looked like he had been working for 16 hours.
It did.
That's how much, better it was
Right.
from the beginning. And so he tells me he's going to get 10 good hours in the next day. And I'm like, if this is only 6 hours, can you imagine what 10 more hours is going to be like?
Yeah, we the machine's quite crazy. It's just like a thing that spins and it's got these teeth on it, and one of the main reasons why he can't chop it up like fine mulch is I guess it's the machine he has for one, and our ground there where he was going was unlevel, and then there was random stuff like concrete blocks here and there, T-post, there was wire.
There was little things that could have really tore his machine
really
up.
could have done some damage. So he's being very, very careful. And the ground too. He said that, the teeth on it, it's like a chainsaw. You hit the ground so many times, your chainsaw's no good. So that was the thing with this thing is that he can get it close to the ground and trying to chop it all up. But if he keeps hitting the ground over and over again, he has to stop what he's doing and go sharpen every one of those teeth on that mulcher and then get back on. And it probably takes him an hour or two to sharpen teeth on it.
Well, besides that machine is on a heel like this.
Yeah.
All right, so the thing is spinning, and this side of the teeth is hitting the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this side is not hitting the ground. He can't do any better on this side.
Right.
That's going to stay the way it is. And we're good with that.
Yep.
We understand that it's not a perfect job, and it's because of our terrain. Now, if we had perfect flat land, then it would have been just perfectly.
Because he pointed out to us, hey, look at this over here. The ground was fairly level. I didn't have to worry about running over anything crazy, and it looked like fine mulch.
I was impressed.
Yep.
I only saw one negative comment on all the videos. That guy did a crappy job, was the comment.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, buddy, he did the best he could with what he had. I think it looks awesome. And if we're pleased, then that's what matters.
Well, plus, too, we didn't show in the video, but there was, I bet you there was 500, I'm not exaggerating, full-size concrete blocks.
Yeah, they were everywhere.
They're everywhere. And
And
we
we
have
thought-
no idea what the previous owner had going on here.
I don't know what it was
But it's
either.
crazy. He has these just random walls that are dry stacked out of nowhere, and you can't see it because there's so much overgrowth.
So
and-
we knew that some of them were there.
Yeah.
And we had actually tried to clean up
We
some. It was
did.
impossible to get them
It was
off.
impossible. It was
I mean,
absolutely impossible.
In that thick, dense brush, it was impossible for us to get in there and get all those blocks. And we let him know that. And
Yeah.
so therefore he was careful. He didn't go up next to some trees because of that.
And then you had that one area that when it opened up, you could see it. It's a 55-gallon drum and in the middle of the woods. It's
Yeah.
a blue drum.
Yeah.
And I bet there was 1,000 glass jars just all around. It just made no sense. It's just crazy.
But we were completely satisfied.
Oh, yeah. We were happy.
And
Super happy.
We are not picky people.
No, we're
as y'all can
not.
probably tell. We're,
We're
not picky
loosey-goosey.
people. But if you're like us and you just
Yeah.
you want to get rid of some overgrowth, man, he did a good job.
He did. And plus, too, we're the type, this guy was obviously, because we could see it, was doing the best he could.
He gave it 150%. I can
And we
tell
can
you
see
that.
it. And if you're doing that, we don't, we're satisfied.
And
We are completely satisfied. If you're doing the best you can do, that's all you can do. We're satisfied.
He charged by the running time on the hour
Yeah,
on the machine.
that's right.
The hour turning on the machine. If he got off and he sharpened his blades,
He
that
stopped the
machine
clock.
wasn't running.
Yeah, he stopped the clock.
That was his time.
That's right.
And
That's
I
a
felt like that was just above and
was.
beyond what he should have done.
That's why I only got 6 hours in the first day
Yeah.
because
He'd
he
get
had hit
off-
some stuff with the machine and he had to get it all. He had to stop what he was doing, clean the blade out, and
Yep.
then sharpen the blades, and then get back on it again.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all, that was the best investment we have made.
It was awesome.
I told Jason, I said, I want to get him back out there.
Yeah.
Once we get a few things taken care of around here that need to be done, I'd like to save up and I'd like to have him back over there because we could use him for 16 more hours.
Well, now it's opened up.
Yeah.
We can come back in and get all the concrete blocks out now.
Yes. We can take the tractor bucket and pull up to it. Whereas
Yeah,
before,
we
we were
couldn't.
having to haul them one by one up
Yeah.
the hill, which could be done, but it might take 33 years.
But now that it's opened up, and if we clean all the hardcore stuff out of there, you can run your tractor there with a bush hog and keep it, manageable now.
And I have been reading comments, and a lot of people said to take a landscape rake and hook it to the back of our 3-point hitch and run through there. And I Googled it because I didn't know what that was. We're new to this farm.
We are new to it.
And so it's a thing that goes on the back of your 3-point hitch, and it's got like a rake on it, and there's teeth on it. Well, the one that Tractor Supply sells is a reasonable priced one. However, it's not to exceed a 35 horsepower tractor, and ours is 47 horsepower. So that's not going to work. It's too much.
Yeah.
And the next one that I saw was a Bush Hog brand. Well, I didn't see any around here that had them in stock.
Okay.
What do y'all suggest that we could use to get that debris up and pile it up that's left behind? We got a lot of sticks, and
I wonder what happens if you were to put the one back there that says 30-something.
I don't know. I was thinking about that. What's the worst thing that could happen?
What's the worst thing can happen?
It's up the horsepower of the tractor. But y'all let us know what your
Yeah, let us
experience
know.
is. If you use one of those landscape rakes, then let us know, how heavy duty it is, and will it pile my stuff up? I know I can raise it and lower it as I need to.
That's
but
right.
Is it worth it? Can I rent one?
Yeah.
I don't know. We have a rental company,
We
but
do have
we're
a
a
rental
small
company.
town, so I might call and check into that. But how could I get that debris up? There's no way physically possible to go in there and pick it all up by hand, or
Right.
to rake it up by
Yeah,
hand. That's
yeah.
not possible.
Yeah, there's no way. It'd take us 20 years. to rake it
We
up
got
by hand.
tomatoes to grow.
That's
we got
right.
pig fences to build.
That's
we
right.
Can't, we can't go around them.
Speaking of tomatoes, in the last video, like I said, we got a lot of new followers that don't know, because I did a video on this probably 2-3 years ago. I can't remember how long it's been, but walking through my garden, and I get this every year.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't just like this to the last video. It's all the time when people see them. But somebody saw a snake in the garden, or somebody's. A lot of people saw a snake in the garden, and the comment section went kind of nuts in the last video. Well, I keep fake rubber snakes in the garden. This is something that an old-timer gardener told me many moons ago to ward off birds. I had a lot of people in the comments ask, would it work on squirrel? I have no idea. I don't have a squirrel issue, so I don't know. And maybe that's why I don't have a squirrel issue. I don't have a bird issue either. But I do keep fake rubber snakes. I think I bought them things at Walmart for 99 cents, and they last forever. Those snakes are 15 years old. The key to rubber snakes is you have to move them daily. You can't let them sit there because the birds are smart enough to know that if it sits there for so many days, that thing's either dead or it's not real.
I wonder what would happen to you if I put a rubber rat in there.
I don't know.
I've just been sitting here thinking, that snake caught people's eye. I wonder if a rat would catch your attention.
It probably would catch my eye.
You know what we did a long time ago when we were raising Cornish chicks and we had a hawk problem?
Oh, yeah.
I was in the landscape area of a gardening center, and I saw one of those owls that's got the crazy looking eyes on it. It glows at night, and I bought one of those, and we put it on a T-post, and I don't know if it helped our hawk problem or not, but we have that around our chicken coop.
We do.
I don't know if y'all have ever noticed it or not.
I doubt it does anything because we don't even move it. But when we're doing the Cornishes, I moved it daily. Yeah, I moved it daily.
And they would think that there was an owl out there, and that's their competition, I guess you would say. And they would go on and leave the chicks alone. Whether it worked or not, I don't know. But regardless, it made us think it did.
Well, it made us think it did. We didn't have that big of a hawk issue. Just every now and then.
And it was usually during that fall-winter transition, during that time of the year where their food's scarce. And,
they were having babies.
I felt like they needed to eat, but I'm not going to be the one to feed you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go on and get Jason's rats and mice and
that's right.
Take care of some other things. Don't mess with my chickens.
Oh, me.
All right.
Well, speaking of pig fencing, you mentioned is that we are getting 2 Berkshire pigs.
We are.
And if y'all don't know that, I think I said that in the last video. I know I mentioned pigs in the last video, but we're pretty. We're getting them.
We're getting them. I've made the call.
Yeah, we've already put the order in, and they're holding us 2, so we're getting 2 pigs.
We're getting 2 males, and they're going to be cut when we get them. We have had pigs in the past. We have had questions about why don't you get a male and a female and breed them? Y'all,
we tried that.
We don't want baby pigs are cute as they can be. But what would happen is Cog Hill Farm would end up with 12.
Be like Marycarl's and Muscovy's.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be able to part with them, and we would all have names, and then those would reproduce because it seems like pigs in Alabama just don't sell well.
They don't sell well. I mean, we're getting Berkshire pigs. Now, there are crossed, but they're still, he said they were 98% or 95%.
Yeah, and we're paying $80 for $80. I mean, that's $80 for and it's not, they're 12 weeks old.
Yes.
12 weeks old.
So I mean, is this? We've been there before and done that, and we're not going to do that again. We had
sell something registered for $80.
No, we
and have 12 weeks of food in it.
Exactly. We had registered guinea hogs. Registered. We had
Couldn't
papers on them.
For
Whatever.
them.
We could not give them away. We
ended up giving them away. And
we
that's
did end
the
up
God
giving
honest
away.
truth.
We did. We ended up
gave
giving
them
away. We did.
So why don't we get a breeding pair? Would it be an economical solution? No. It would be a burden.
It would be. For us, and I would suggest this for smaller homesteads too.
Don't start out with a male.
They would not want to do not, if they're just getting them to feed their family for that year, just find somebody like we did. $80. We're getting 12-week-old Berkshires. They're probably going to weigh 60 pounds when we get them. They're completely weaned. They're ready to go.
They're eating food already.
They're eating food.
All they need is a shelter, water, food, and a place to live.
Just from our experience, that's the way to go. Get you 2 of those. Depending on how big your family is and how much meat you eat, but just a couple of those and you'll be set. And you don't have to worry about shelter. You don't have to worry about babies. You don't have to worry about... you
do have to worry about shelter, temporary shelter.
I was talking about, temporary shelter, but I was thinking of bigger and better shelters.
One of our questions is, what will Peaches think about the new pigs? She'll never meet them.
She won't care. Even if she could go over there to them. We've done it before. Peaches cared 0 about the American guinea hogs.
And they will care 0 about her.
And so she'll care more likely just not even... Peaches doesn't know she's a pig, I don't think. And
she's a diva.
She is a diva. And Peaches used to have a buddy, and she hated him.
She did.
She didn't like him.
It was almost like she was talking to us saying, "Can you please get rid of this man?"
She could not stand Marshall, and so We rehome Marshall to a great home, and Peaches. That's why Peaches is by herself. We tried it, and she didn't like it.
And we
she didn't care anything about the guinea hogs. I mean, she likes what she does. I'm telling you.
Now, her and Foxy are Great Pyrenees. They're tight.
They are tight.
I don't know why. I don't know what the connection is, but they will groom each other. I mean, it's just, it's weird.
It is weird, but they do like each other a lot.
So what we plan to do with these pigs is, when we were talking about the dog kennel earlier.
Yeah.
Jason got the dog kennel here at Cog Hill #1 fixed with a roof on it that they will not get wet, that will filter the sun out. It's like a shade.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll bring them here initially while we work on the fence at the Cog 40 and get it set up along with the garden fence. We will have a hot wire fence on the inside.
Yeah.
So no predators can get to them and they can't get out.
Right. Yeah. We're going to build my garden fence, which is going to be typical fencing.
I'm so excited too, by the way.
And then we're going to put electric wire on the inside of it so they won't try to get out, because pigs can be escape artists, which we've learned.
Yes. We, the last batch of guinea hogs
were the worst.
That we raised.
They were the worst.
That was when we said no more pigs, and we actually said ever at the end of that. But never ever.
Well, we're not breeding them. No,
we're not breeding them. That was our reason for not getting a female. I don't care if we had a cut male and a female. There's still a chance that there could be something there to breed, and I don't want it. Okay,
I agree.
I don't want them to reproduce.
I agree.
When I read that question about how come you don't get a male and female and breed and recoup some of that cost, I was like, recoup some of that cost? They would cost me money.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to go down that road again. And I'm sure people are successful with it, but
it's not in this area.
It's just not a great market here. I don't know why either. And I could not believe we found Berkshires. I mean, usually here you're just going to get what you can get.
That's right. And we would have been satisfied with just about anything.
Anything.
Peaches is not a meat bred pig.
No, she's a lard breed's what they were bred for.
But what I'm saying is that's not something you would get to grow out.
No,
to eat.
You wouldn't get a Vietnamese potbelly pig
not for your consumption of meat.
It wouldn't be as much meat. It'd be like the guinea hogs. We didn't have that much meat on them.
We don't ever plan to do that to a guinea hog. I mean, whatever Peaches is, Vietnamese potbelly pig.
Potbelly pig.
But yeah, we'll bring them here and we'll put them in that little dog kennel.
And it's gonna be temporary. I'm guessing probably one week.
Yay!
Maybe. Yeah,
I like that.
I'm thinking 1 week.
I think that's a good.
I really do.
That's a good.
I don't think they're going to be in the.
They're not
going to
be here that long.
No, they're not going to be long. We're going to get on the fence and get it knocked out.
We. I'm gonna hand you the stuff.
I'm going to need you to pull the tractor and
can do that.
and pull the fence tight.
I can do that. I can handle that.
While I nail in some staples or something.
You just tell me what to do.
We'll get it handled. And we may not have built the fence this big. It's maybe one of the biggest fences we built.
And it's going to be done right.
It's going to be done right.
Because it's going to be our permanent garden.
It's going to be our permanent garden fence. And I'm going to make sure my corner posts are tall enough where I can put my flag around it.
Hey, that's a good idea, too. I hadn't thought of that. Usually, you're not one to think ahead. I think ahead too much. And Jason's like,
yeah,
he just does whatever I say.
That's right. Speaking of fencing, have we thought about putting a second fence around the original fence about 6 foot apart to use as a chicken run and 2 fences with toward deer, chickens? I'm guessing this is for the new garden.
Yeah, I think that's what we just talked about.
Yeah, and there's going to be our new farm is going to be split up into different sections.
Yeah, this is going to be our first plot, I guess.
This is going to be the first section, the first plot will be the garden, and then we just got a lot going on. We got chicken coops coming. It's just
we're fixing to be busy.
We're fixing to be busy on the farm.
It seems like everything has happened right at the right time.
It is falling in place quickly.
And it seems like a day is over before you blink your eyes.
It is.
I mean, since you've been home, I feel like, I know we've gotten a lot accomplished. I don't mean that we haven't gotten a lot accomplished, but it seems like we wake up and then it's time to go to bed. And the days are just going by faster.
They're going by. Today was really fast.
Today was fast.
It was really fast.
Why do we wear headphones?
Why do we wear headphones? It's just easier for us.
Why is it easier?
Because we can hear each other better. We tried it. I remember the day I said, take them off and let's talk.
No, I don't remember that.
But anyways,
okay.
We can actually hear what's going to come out the speakers. If we take them off, then it's just normal conversation, and we don't know exactly what we're saying now sounds just like it's going to sound in the podcast. You know, when you guys listen to it, if we didn't have we don't have the headphones on, then we don't have a clue. We don't know if somebody's talking too loud. We don't know if somebody's talking too low, and so I can adjust it as we're talking.
So we kind of skipped this, and we probably shouldn't have.
Okay.
I went on to say, why do we wear headphones?
Mm-hmm.
But we should have went to, why do we not let the goats go over to the land and clean it up?
Yeah, we've had a lot of people say this. There's some poisonous plants over there, one being the American cherry tree.
Well, you know what somebody said?
What's that?
Goats aren't going to eat poisonous plants.
They will.
Do not think that they will not touch a poisonous plant.
They will. They will most certainly eat it, or they'll test it, or whatever.
We had a horse that ate a buckeye.
Yeah, and almost killed it. Go to Hidden Heights Homestead, their channel. They lost, I know one, but it may have been 2 goats. They ate the cherry, and they both died. It was in the hay,
wasn't it?
They died.
Was it in the hay?
I can't remember now.
Well, we have plants, and we know we have plants. And besides that, our goats are...
And we got milk goats. These are milk goats. They're...
Not to say that they're pets.
They are pets, too, but not to say that they're your normal brush goat.
They've just never been exposed to anything but feed being in their bowl and hay being in their rack.
So what would happen is if you were to turn our goats loose, who gets a scheduled feeding every day, they know it.
How old's Tip?
7 o'clock, they're going to get fed grain. At 7:15, they're going to get Bahia hay or Coastal Bermuda. What is it? One of the two.
I don't know.
And then at 3:30, they're going to get their feed again. It's going to have their minerals poured on it, and they're going to have an animal cracker. That's every single day. If you interrupt that schedule with a goat, they're going to bloat.
Yep.
And bloat can kill them. And what happens is...
You can't do that with our existing goats. It's impossible.
We would turn them loose out there, and what they would do is it would be like a kid in a candy store, and they had to go out there, and they would just eat all this stuff and all this stuff. They're like, oh, my God, look at where
And then you'd look, and your goat would be laying dead on the ground
they would just eat so much.
Their stomach couldn't consume the contents.
They couldn't, unless you caught it in time, and you'd have to walk them and try to burp them and let them get rid of that gas that's built up in their stomach. And
can you see us hauling all of our goats in a horse trailer over
there? And we don't have any fencing either.
If we turn those goats out there, it's almost... It's not a funny question. It's a reasonable question. But it's funny to me because I can just see those goats if we hauled them over there.
Oh, gosh.
And let them loose. They'd be like, ooh.
They would be like, ooh.
Looking at us like, where's our bucket?
Plus, too, this guy did, I want to say he cut, 4 or 5 acres in 2 days?
Who are you talking about?
The mulching guy.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way a goat
couldn't consume this much. Yeah, there's no way.
And not even, some of the privet was that big around.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
They couldn't put a dent in
We still had to go in there with a chainsaw and chop it up.
So good thinking, but not gonna work. And besides that, we couldn't have an animal over there just loose because it's no fencing.
There's fencing around the property, but a lot of it needs mending, which we saw this week.
Yeah, a goat would need to be securely fenced.
It's got fence all around the whole 40 acres, but
it needs mending.
It's overgrown. There's trees that fell on some of it, so we got to repair some places, and we don't know how much has got to be repaired.
And we do have a picnic table over there, and I can guarantee you the next time we went over there would be 3 male goats standing on the top of that picnic table like, when's our bucket gonna arrive? That's probably where they would stay the entire time.
I can't imagine
on the picnic table
out there.
Or either on top of our camper.
Oh, gosh.
One of the two.
Or the neighbors would call and say, your goat's over here on my car.
It wouldn't be long. Jason.
Oh, yes.
Are you going to quit dancing, like, in a group?
Actually... if you don't know, the dance class I was with the dance owner of the studio, she closed the store or closed the studio. And that was 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So I said, well, I'm not going to take dance anymore. And then I got talked into taking dance with another dance studio in town, which I absolutely loved, and started taking dancing with it. And then COVID hit.
Yep.
And it got shut down.
It got shut down, and then they decided that they would come back, but you had to wear a mask while you were dancing.
You had to wear a mask, and it was still a lot of gray. It wasn't like it was open 100%. And long story short, as of right now, with everything that's going on, here's the thing with dancing with me, is that I love it so much that I go all in. When I mean all in, I mean all in. So what happens is that I'll spend 3 hours every night practicing dancing when I should be sleeping or working on a video or doing something with a business. And that's becomes an issue because I will literally stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning practicing a dance step over and over and over and over and over and over and again, because it's just how I am. It drives me nuts, and that's just the way I am.
So as of right now, no dance.
And I don't think the adult class is even open. The one that I was taking
Probably
with,
not.
I saw that they had a dance recital last year, and it looked like it was only little kids, and it was on a front porch.
It was out in the yard,
outside,
basically.
And I saw they did it again this year.
Well, your goal was to learn tap, and you did learn the basics of tap.
I learned the basics of tap. I'm not satisfied at where I was in tap, but it is what it is. Plus, my knees are getting bad. I
have local people ask me all the time, is Jason going to dance anymore?
Yeah. My knees are hereditary. My granddad's got bad knees, so I can tell that my knees are wearing out a little bit. So that's one reason you don't see me dancing as much as I used to. And I just...
You're not going to see me dancing. You wouldn't want to see me dancing.
But I know maybe something happened, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
What else we got?
This one's for you.
Uh-huh.
Because you know about the brands of incubators.
Oh,
this
yes.
person wants to know, is there an incubator that's better than others? I'm looking for one that will hold duck eggs.
GQF would, to me, was who I'd go after. We got several brands here. The Archon, we got GQF. The one I would stay away from is the Little Giant. We had a Little Giant. You're going to find those. They're very inexpensive. You can find them at your Tractor Supply stores or whatever. They don't hold the temperature steadily, and it's going to cause issues down the road. So
doesn't mean if you're using a Little Giant and it works for you, don't quit.
That's right.
If that's what's working for you, then keep on. This is for somebody that is looking for an incubator, and they want to know about one that'll hold duck eggs. Well, an incubator is different from a turner.
Yes.
So the incubator is in this case, the one we're talking about is styrofoam.
The styrofoam tabletops. Now, Brinksey has some that are not styrofoam, that are plastic, and they do a pretty good job too. But the GQF's the one I got the most experience with, that I absolutely love. And you can get that GQF one for about $60, maybe, give or take, somewhere in there. And
but that's the incubator part.
That's the incubator part.
Then you have to buy a turner, and your turner is where it's going to determine what you want to hatch.
And I think duck eggs would be fine with a general egg turner, which will handle probably most of your duck eggs.
I think that, I don't know. You just have to look at the turners and see the size difference in your standard chicken. And then there's probably a large breed chicken.
Yes.
You may want to do that. Or there may be one specifically for ducks. And I would say to get one that would hatch most everything, maybe a large chicken. And
yes, what I would look at. Mm-hmm.
So just see, you need to get in your mind what you want to hatch. If you're going to hatch all quail eggs, then you need a quail turner.
Yeah.
But if you want to hatch chicken and duck, then try to get something that would hatch large chicken eggs.
And you don't necessarily have to have a turner. If you have time on your hands, if you manually turn the eggs yourself 3 or 4 times a day, you can do it that way.
And
Or
you
can
do
buy a
have to
turner.
add water to the
Yeah, 'cause-
incubator, and it's like a tray in the bottom of
Mm-hmm.
it. When you add that water, it adds humidity, which the eggs require in order to hatch successfully. Everything's different. Chicken eggs require different humidity than duck eggs. So just kind of Google that and see, what your humidity is for what you're hatching.
Yes.
But you say the Little Giant.
No,
I mean the
GQF.
GQF.
The
Sorry.
GQF, you can get the least expensive tabletop one for the GQF, and like I said, off the top of my head, I think it's around $60.
And then buy the turner.
And buy
if
the
you
turner
don't want to turn
if you don't want
hand.
to turn them by hand. Yep.
Plug
Yep.
it. It's kind of like that. Set it and forget it.
Yeah, you just plug it in, and usually the GQF comes preset, but you can change the temperature on top if you want to.
And you can change the humidity too
on
by adding water.
By adding water, correct.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
What
So,
else we got here?
I think the last question that I see is, will we still have the same post office when we move?
Oh, okay.
It will be a different post office, but y'all don't have to worry about that right now.
Yep.
Because we're going to be here for a bit. We'll let you know way in advance
Mm-hmm.
before we discontinue this post office here. I mean, I don't even foresee a date.
I don't foresee a date either.
Don't worry about that.
Yep, don't
Just
worry about
use
that.
current post office, P.O. Box 2204, Selma, Alabama 36702.
Yep.
All right.
Is that it?
I think
guess
that's about it.
Well, I guess we'll let everybody go.
That's right.
We'll catch y'all on the next episode.
Y'all be good.
Y'all be good.